Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. As Felicia said, I'm Amber. You can find me on Instagram at Amber Plans Her Day, and I'm really excited to have everyone joining me to go over the Zebra Clickart retractable marker pens and how we're going to use them for doodling in our planner this summer, and I'm really excited. So we're going to switch over to the top-down view, and then we will get started. Okay. So when you sign up for the class, you probably got a PDF for a step-by-step process of how to doodle all of these things. And I know that Zebra will be making sure that it is in the chat as well if you guys need this PDF. But we're just gonna go through each of these doodles and be able to share with you how to do them step by step and how you can make them look just so beautiful in your planner. So this is kind of going to be the finished product here, and I'm just going to grab a fresh sheet and we can get started. So you can do this on anything. I personally use just this disc-bound planner, but you can use, you know, even just like a bullet journal or any other planner or even just a paper just to have fun doodling. But I'm going to use this disc-bound planner right here. So we have the Clickart retractable marker pens. What I love about these is that they never dry out as long as they stay closed, and they're just really easy to punch out. And then whenever they're retracted, the ink doesn't dry out, which is really one of my favorite things about these pens. And I just love how it's like a felt tip, and it's just a pretty fine tip too. So it's really great for writing and drawing and doing all the things. I'm also going to use this Sarasa clip. These are the Deco Shine. I really love how they add a little bit of design to the doodles. So I'm just going to use the silver and the gold today. All right. So we're going to get started with the waves first. We're just going to go in order of the PDF here. And the waves are honestly so easy. I was really nervous to draw the waves at first, but it is so simple. And when you add the detail, it just makes it look really fun. So I love having it. It's almost like a washi strip down at the bottom of the waves. So you just start by drawing one line up. And then it's kind of like a shorter U. So not like a full U, but more of a spread out U. So you can kind of see, 1 second, X out, okay. So you can kind of see that whenever you keep doing it, it just makes it look like waves. You can just draw the U all the way to the ends of the page here, and then you're gonna end it like you started it with kind of like that half U there. So then you have the points, and then you have the lower parts of the waves. I'm gonna do the same on this side so you can see it again. So we're gonna start halfway up, and then our U's. I'm a left-handed, sorry. I'm gonna try to like, so you can see. And again, you guys, doodling does not have to be perfect. It's just for fun. And it just adds some of the color to your planner. Okay. Then, now this is just fine. If this is the only wave that you did, that's perfect. But what I really loved about this PDF is how you can add some of like flair to your waves. So what you can do is like, you can start by adding little lines, add little swirlies to them, just little accents to them. And then it just makes it look like the water splashing a little bit. Oh, I love seeing all you lefties in the chat. You don't usually see a lot of lefties, which is really fun. But anyway, this adds a lot of like extra flair to your waves and just makes it look like it's splashing around a little bit. Cool. Oh, yeah. So many people from Colorado here. I am in Colorado as well. I am Colorado Springs, which I love. but it's been really rainy here, so not very summery. Okay, so these are the waves. So as you can see, it's a really simple doodle, just like a flatter U, and then adding just those little divots into it. Okay, next we're gonna work on the seashell. And this one is really, really simple as well. And I'm gonna explain some of it to you. Now, this is why I have the Sarasa clip pens. These are really great to start the doodle with, because you can, you know, use this as a little outline. So we're just gonna draw a seashell. Just, you can put it anywhere. I'm gonna put it in the middle of this box. So you're gonna start, like this one shows, with a pointed oval, almost like a teardrop, but upside down. So it's gonna like round and down. So you go up and down, and it's gonna meet at a point. And then you can also do the bottom. Now the bottom is gonna be a lot smaller. So it's gonna look very similar to this, but smaller. So again, it's just rounded and then matches the point. Now, the way that I explain the next step is it's basically like a heart. You're going to kind of heart this. So it's like you're drawing half of a heart up and meet it in the points. And then you're going to do that on the other side. And then you're going to do it one more time. Kind of heart and meet it in the middle. And then you're also going to do that at the bottom, and that's going to be smaller again. So then that is the completed seashell. Again, I just love having like a smaller pen to be able to outline with, and then using the Clickart to color it in is really, really fun. Now you guys can use whatever color. I love all of the colors that are in Clickart, but I think I was using some blue. This one almost is like a blue-gray color. And then I also used pink for the bottom. But you guys can use whatever ones you like. So I'm gonna start with the pink, and I just color it in. It's fine tip, but it also allows the color to show up really bold and like it's like very saturated. So I kind of just go back over the outline, and then I just color it in how you would normally color. And then for the seashell specifically, I like to do every other color. So it's like a pattern. So we have 3 of those, and then we're going to do 2 of these. The ink does not bleed through from my experience. Sometimes there can be like a shadow, but it also depends on the paper that you're using. So in like some, it also sometimes depends on the color too. So like, here, I'll show you my finished product. So like here, like you can't see that, but like you can see some of the shadowing, but otherwise like there's like a whole thing back here that you can really not see. So sometimes it just depends, but it also depends on the paper that you use for sure, because poor quality paper, you're gonna have poor quality paper, you know? But I love that. I love that. I love these ones. Okay, so this is the seashell. That was so simple. So simple. Hold it up a little bit for you guys. You can really see how fun that is. And I just love that you can use whatever colors you want. Okay, next is a beach ball. Now this one, if you guys are not good at drawing circles, like I'm not good at drawing circles, use your other supplies that you have. For example, washi tape. So many of us have washi tape just sitting around. Use this to draw your circle. How simple is that? Take your pen again, You can also use your Clickart, like you can use like gray or black or whatever color that you want to, but I just like this because it's not as, just because it's such a fine point, 0.5 millimeter fine tip. So it's really great for those fine details. So I just traced the inside of this washi roll and it made this circle. So simple. You can make it as big as you want. Like for example, I have all of my zebra mild liners that sit in here. Like if you wanted a really big beach ball, you can use something bigger too. Like that would be like a pretty big beach ball, but you can use that too. Like just use whatever's around or just freehand, free draw a circle as part of the fun, part of the doodling process. And then in one of the corners, it doesn't matter, but you draw like a circle oval, like more, not a full circle, more of an oval, I guess. Okay, so let's start with that. So then you have two circles, one more oval, and then one circle. And then you just draw the lines that will make it look like a beach ball. So I'll show you guys on the PDF. So they're kind of like rounded lines. You're not going to draw a straight line out. If you do that, it won't look as like ballish, like 3D almost. So I usually just start, it's kind of like drawing a soft line that's slightly rounded. And then you kind of just keep working around the circle until you want 6 sections. So right now we have 2. Now we have 3, 4. So then we'll split this big one into 2 and then we'll have like 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you kind of just draw like little small half circles. And then again, you can take whatever colors you want. I love that like traditional beach ball look of the red and the blue and the yellow. So that's what I chose to do. Again, you just take, oh, pool party this weekend. Bring me. This will be so perfect. All your like pool doodles. Oh, so much fun. Okay, so I'm gonna use the yellow first. And like I said with the seashell, I really like to kind of outline what I'm coloring in first. Mine looks a little deflated. I love that. Definitely use something circular. It'll help you make that like perfectly round. And then you can color it in, make it look nice and bouncy. This beach ball is gonna bounce. And then we'll take the red. Again, once you outline, it's just easier to color in. You guys can use whatever colors you want to. It doesn't have to be these 3. I just love that the way that it looks. And I love that these 3 colors specifically are just so different that you really can see each color on the beach ball. And then I'm just going to repeat the pattern. I also love that these zebra Clickart marker pens don't smear. Like, so you can color directly after like that, the colors, and they're not going to make the other ones smear. For example, like I just finished that red and I put the blue directly on top of it / next to it and nothing. Okay, so then this is a finished beach ball here. I left this middle part white, which you can do, or you can take like that Sarasa clip. I love these Deco Shine, the metallic ones, because it almost like adds a little sparkle. So you can even color in this middle part here with that. And it just gives it like a little bit of silver look. You can use any of the colors. The Sarasa clip Deco Shines come with tons of colors too. There's purple and pink, green and blue, orange, all of the fun colors. But it also just adds some fun like almost a little shine. There's a little shine to them. Or just leave it blank. Like you can do whatever you want because it's doodling, it's fun. It just adds like a little bit of fun for your planner. Okay, so as a reminder, we've done 3 doodles so far. We've done our waves, and then we brought out our our Sarasa clip pens, and we did the outlines of the seashell and the beach ball, and then we used the Clickart to color them in. So next, we will do our sand castle. So we'll work on that one. I'm going to use the gold Sarasa clip for this one because it just reminds me of sand, like because it's goldish colored. So I'm going to start by, put the PDF in here so you guys can see it. I'm going to start by drawing that little squiggle there. And that's going to look just like a sand, like the sand bottom. You can make it however big or small you want. And then you're going to start by drawing the outside of the sandcastle. So 2 kind of taller rectangles. And then you're going to go into the middle. Now this is like that traditional section of a sandcastle. You just draw like little angles. Really, really fun and simple. So I'm going to start by, you draw like a short line, and then you go down and over and back up to where you started. And then you go back across, and then down and over and back up. We'll do it one more time. And it's not perfect. Like this one is a little bit closer together, and these ones are a little bit further apart. Let me see if I can really show you guys. See how it's not perfect, but it's a doodle. It's for fun. It's just to add some funness to your planner. The one that I'm using right now, this is the Sarasa clip. Let me take this, let me open it so it's not like shining in my light. It's the Sarasa clip. These are the Deco Shine metallic gel ink. These are really fun. I mean, you can use them for writing in your planner, but I'm using this kind of as the pre-doodle stage so that I don't have to, so that there's just some like the definition into the doodles. Okay, so now that we have this base, we're gonna add these triangles to the top, basically just what you think it is, a point up and a point down. And that just adds the tops of the sandcastle. And then you can add the detail to the sandcastle with the pen as well. We'll do like a door right here in the middle, just these like half ovals. You just add a lot of that detail there. So this is what the doodle looks like before we even color it in. Again, it's not perfect, but it's just for fun. Then you can take your yellow. I mean, if you don't want a yellow sandcastle, then do whatever you want to do. But then you can just color it in. Like I said, these do not smear. So even though we just finished coloring with or drawing with that pen, it's not going to smear that pen at all. Then you can leave like your door uncolored, or you can color it in. You can do whatever you choose to do. But you can also go in with this like Deco Shine and add little dots, and it almost makes it look like sand. Now this is not something that's on that PDF, but just a little extra. Like if you're like, oh, I kind of just like the way that this looks, it makes it look a little sandier, a little bit more 3-dimensional. Look at just coming in and dot, 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 dot. I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see that it just adds. You can barely actually see it. But like, look at how fun that is. It just adds some of those, like that sand aspect of it. It makes it almost look 3D. You can also come in and like kind of color in underneath and make this line thicker, and it makes it look a little bit more like real sand down there. You can do whatever your heart desires, whatever your imagination tells you to do. Just like makes it a little bit thicker, a little bit funner. And again, since these are those Deco Shine ones, they just have a little bit of like shine to them. I don't know how Zebra does it, but it's pretty magical if you ask me. Pretty fun. Yay. Okay, now let's go move on to another doodle. This one we're going to do the watermelon. And we're going to do the silver Deco Shine for this one. This one is pretty simple as well. We're going to start with almost like just a half of a triangle. See how that is? A line up and a line down. Now, do not finish the triangle with a flat line, kind of like the beach ball. We're going to do a little bit of a curved line. So I like to turn my pages around, you guys. We got to like work with our pages. We're going to make this a little bit curved. So it's not flat. And then you're going to do that again. And this is going to make that like rind of the watermelon. I prefer to do it in a little bit. So I took a second line and I brought it in this way. So just now you have two kind of rounded out circles. And that's the base of your watermelon. You could do this in whatever like shape you want to as well. For example, like if you wanted to do like a half of a watermelon, you would just draw like a straight line and then make like that bottom U shape and then do it again. Make another bottom U shape. That's like a half of a watermelon. A slice of watermelon, a half of a watermelon. It really is like when you take the basics of what a doodle is and expand upon it, you can really do so many different things. And hear me out, like I never used to doodle. I was like, I totally stink at drawing, like leave me to the hand lettering, like leave me to the writing, all of those different things. But whenever I got down to the basics of what a doodle is, so simple. Like it's just shapes. And it's just adding some definition and coloring it in. For example, I'm gonna take the light pink and we're gonna color in, we'll color in both of these watermelons and we'll see what they look like. So again, I really like to start with that like outline. It just makes that coloring in the middle a little bit easier. I'm always so scared I'm gonna color outside the lines, which isn't a big deal either, but I just like to have that basis of where I'm trying to go. Color in. We're gonna make both of these a really fun pink color. Then we're gonna take the like the limeish green color, and then you can color in the rind. And then we'll color in the rind over here. So then we have two totally different watermelons using the same principle, like using the same basic techniques, right? This one we just made it triangle. This one we made half with that U shape. Then what you can also do is you can take your Sarasa clip. You can even take like a gray Clickart, the black Clickart, whatever one you want to, and add in some seeds wherever you want to. And I'll show you guys this a little bit closer up. So you guys can see. To show you guys, there we go. There's like a little bit of silver in it, in the seeds. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Probably not. Dang it, that's a bummer. I can see it and it looks so stinking cute. I'll show you guys with the black Clickart. I'll like just go over where my silver pen was on one of them. So then you guys can see a little bit of the difference there. So then it just looks like it has some seeds in it. How fun. Simple. So cute. Okay, let's move on to the next doodle. And this one we're going to do a pineapple. So we're gonna work on a pineapple next. So we're gonna start with the gold because I feel like yellow and gold, I feel like it makes the most sense. This one we're gonna start with an oval shape. Doesn't have to be a perfect oval shape. Pineapples are not the perfect shapes all the time. Just draw an oval. So an elongated circle. Back to the basics. And then before we go into like the details of the pineapple, we're going to do the top leaves. And this is pretty easy too. Again, it's not gonna have, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's probably not going to be perfect. But we're just going to take little points. So I like to start with that little rounded, probably start on both sides. Doesn't really matter, but I just drew it on both sides and I'll make them meet in the middle. You just add little like rounded lines, kind of like you would draw in a like if you're drawing like a palm tree or something, just like it's rounded. It does not have to be a straight line. So that's the pineapple. That's the basic of the pineapple. A rounded, elongated circle, oval base with pointy leaves. That's the top of the pineapple. Then we're going to do our yellow again. And we're going to color in the base of this pineapple. You can even take directly after that. Like I said, these do not smear, which is great. And we're going to just draw like little hash marks. So you can see, you can draw one way, and then you can kind of rotate it. And it's almost like drawing like a little checkered board. You could do this in black. Again, you can do this in your Deco Shine pens. You can do whatever. We could actually get it again with the Deco Shine for the accents. Let's color this in again really quick. Actually, I'm going to do the lines first. I'm going to go this way, just like a checkerboard. And then we'll go into coloring it in. No smear. Let's see. Okay. And then you can still see how that shows up. So it still looks amazing. Then I'm going to use the green. This is just the regular green color, not like the brighter lime option. This is just a little bit of a darker one. And I'm going to color in the leaves and the branches here. Okay. I'll do both of them so you guys can see how they both turned out. Okay. So now you have two pineapples. And it's so simple. So simple. Okay. Then we'll go to the next page of the PDF that you guys got. And we have 4 more doodles to go over. These ones are fairly simple as well. So we're just keep it real simple around here. So we're going to start with this ice cream cone. Let's do an ice cream. I'll do the ice cream cone right here. So we're going to start with this upside down U. And if you guys find it easier to draw a U, then turn your page upside down and draw a U, just like you would draw a U. If you guys want to, then turn your page up and just draw like a rounded ice cream. It's really easy. Just make it however you want to do it. But you just make it like a rounded half circle, half oval shape. And then we're going to start. This is where the detail I feel like really comes in. You're not going to start at the end of the cone. You're actually going to come into the cone a little bit or into the ice cream. So instead of starting right here at the end, you're just going to come in just a little bit. As you can see on the PDF, there's a little bit of space, like it starts. This doesn't start right at the end. So instead of starting here, we're going to start in a little bit, not here, in a little bit. And this will make the cone look, again, like a little bit 3D. And you can kind of just start by, it's like almost like a super skinny oval. So it's just going to be, and you can do that on both sides. You're going to start in a little bit, and you're just going to make that little oval shape. So let me see. You can see how there's like two kind of ovals. And then you're kind of going to connect those with another like little rounded shape. And that is the top of your ice cream. Then you're going to draw your triangle, 2 points that meet at the bottom, and that's your cone. Again, so simple. And then again, you guys can use your black, your gray. You can use this to make the details of the cone. But when you look at like a waffle cone, it has those same kind of designs that pineapple did. So it's really, again, you're gonna just draw the same checkered, like a checkerboard design into your cone. And I'll hold this up so you guys can see that closer to the camera. It just makes it look like a waffle cone whenever you do that. And then what's really fun about this is you can color this. You can color this whatever color you want to. If you want cotton candy, then use pink. If you want mint, use your green. If you want, I don't know, what other flavors of ice cream are there? Like coffee, love coffee. You can use like this reddish brownish color to represent like a chocolate. That's the same color that's in this beach ball. There's orange. I don't know what kind of ice cream flavor orange is, but so many different options. Let me know what your favorite ice cream flavor is. Mine is definitely coffee, but I think I'm gonna go with a nice cotton candy today. I'm gonna use this brighter pink. If you guys want to see the difference between these two pinks, I'll swatch them right here real quick. This one's very like bright. This one's a little bit darker. Chocolate chip ice cream. So those are the differences in the two pinks. This one's lighter and this one's a little bit more saturated. Chocolate chip cookie dough, butter pecan, so many good ice cream flavors. Mint chocolate chip. No, use the green, and you can even put like some like chocolate chips in it with that reddish brownish color. Oh my gosh. Make that mint chocolate chip. I do love mint chocolate chip too. I love mint everything. White chocolate raspberry truffle. You guys have some good ice cream flavors. So I'm just going to go with the outline again. And then color in the middle. Mint chocolate chip and butter pecan. So delicious. Thanks for chatting with me in the chat. Love that. So then I just colored in the top of the ice cream. And then, I don't know, I guess I can use this for, you know what? I think I'm going to use banana pudding ice cream. Never had that one. Dang, that sounds good too. I'm gonna use this like reddish color for the cone. Oh yes, I love Oreo everything too. So since I colored over the pen, it's actually a little bit harder to see, but when the ink does dry, it, like I said, it almost has that shine that comes through it. But you can also like redraw over it and it'll help be seen a little bit more. But whenever the ink does dry, like it dries super fast. So you can even, if you guys have used this one, you can start seeing those details come through. already, but I just redrew over them a little bit thicker, and now I can see the little bit of a shine through that. So that is the ice cream cone. I just love this so much. I love ice cream, especially in the summertime. My kids, on the other hand, they like popsicles. I don't like, I'm not the biggest fan of a popsicle, but I mean, I'll eat it. It is what it is, but that's what my kids eat most of the time. And again, a popsicle is a super simple. I want to see what you're saying. If you draw the bottom as a flower pot shape, then you have a cake cone. What a fun idea. Yes. See, I love your creativity. Yes, I love your creativity. That's what we're here for, doodling, having fun, learning from each other. Okay. So we're going to start with our popsicles. Not my favorite, my kid's favorite, but it's still fun to doodle in your planner. We're going to start, if you guys did this half of a watermelon, it's basically like the same shape, just a little bit closer together. So, and kind of like this ice cream cone too. It's that half U. And again, if it's easier, flip your paper upside down and draw that shape, just like a U, just like a U would look. Make it easy for yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. Okay, then we are going to draw a line across the bottom. That's already the top of your popsicle. Now, if you guys eat popsicles that look different than this, then make something that looks different than this, right? There's a popsicle. So this is more of a wider popsicle, but they have those popsicles also that look like really tall and skinny. Does anybody else have the popsicles that look like that? These are the ones that we mostly give to our kids because otherwise these ones, it's a mess. It is a major mess. And then you can just draw the bottom of your popsicle stick. Super simple. And it's just like the opposite. This is just a U, an elongated U. So you did it up top and you do it down on the bottom. Yes, the red, white, and blue popsicles. Yeah. I think I don't love popsicles because they're mostly fruit flavors. Like, give me the chocolate, give me the coffee, give me like the chocolate mints, give me all that stuff. I don't want to eat a grape popsicle. Like, I'm sorry, I just want to eat delicious popsicles. Delicious ice cream, I mean. But this is the basis of those doodles. Oh, fudgicles, yes. Fudgicles are really good. Okay, just kidding. You guys got me on popsicles now. Okay, so now you guys can, creamsicles are pretty good too. You guys can add the detail. Some popsicles have details, some popsicles don't. So it's like whatever you want. Like these ones don't really have the details, but some of them have like those little like upper U things. I don't even know what you would call them, but that's like kind of what a popsicle looks like before you color it in. Now, again, I judge most popsicles as being fruit flavors. So you can use like whatever color you want to use, but you know, my kids love the blue popsicles. My kids love the purple popsicles. They love like orange. We can even use orange, I guess. That's fine. Popsicles, just all the fun things. So I'm going to start by outlining everything. We can even make this one down here, the red, white, and blue, because those ones are really fun for the holidays. And then you can color in this as well. And then you'll be able to see, like I said, because this dries so quickly, you'll be able to see the deco shine through it. Now for the popsicle stick, I loved the color of this because it's like that goldish color. And I feel like it makes it look like, it makes it look like wood, like a wood stick, like a popsicle stick. It's like, what am I trying to say? If you add a wiggly line, a tiny bit from the bottom on the long one, you can make a chocolate covered frozen banana. You are full of ideas. I love that. You can make, like, I love how you're really truly using your creativity to think of new and different ideas that you can do. So I'm going to color this in. Again, I think it just makes it look like that like wooden popsicle stick look. I'm going to color this one in too. Then we're going to take the blue, we're going to take the red, and we'll leave the top just white. But we'll do a little bit of blue. Little bit of red. This one's actually a lot of red, sorry. And then you have a red, white, and blue popsicle. I did a little bit too much red, but like I said, you know, it is what it is. Let me show you guys. Look at how fun. It's a red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. And then it just makes it look, like I said, that deco shine just makes it look like a little bit cardboard. How fun. Super, super fun. Okay. The next doodle is going to be the sun. This one right here. This one tends to be really easy, but it just depends how you draw it. And you guys don't have to do a sun that looks just like this. You can do the suns with the lines that go out. You can do it however you want to. What I love about this though is it makes it look, it just adds another color to it, but it also just makes it look like it's like shining. It makes it look shining to me. Now, what I did in my example is I did a half sun up here. Now you can do this, or you can do the full sun, whichever one you guys want to do. I love them both, but it depends where you want your doodle to be. It just depends where you want to be. I will show you guys for the corner sun so that you guys can see how that looks. But know that you can do a full circle. I'm actually going to use my Mildliner cup that I just have sitting on my desk all the time. And I'm just going to like take it and I'm going to like put it off the page a little bit. So then we're going to have kind of like a half circle. And I'm just going to trace this. Then it makes it look like a sun. So like it skipped a little bit. Sometimes when you're tracing things, it doesn't work all the way. Like, because sometimes I'm drawing on my actual container versus the paper. I don't know if anyone else gets that way. Much better. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to do half of the rays here. And what's really simple about this design is it's almost exactly like the waves, but if you're doing it in a circle, you just do it in a circle. We're going to do it in a half circle here. And it just is, it's really simple. So I'm going to show you guys. Just like we started with the waves down here, you're going to do opposite though. You're going to do like the end of this. You're going to have like the point of your ray, and you're going to come in and make another point. So this is going to be the point of your ray, and then it's going to come closer to the sun, and then you're going to go back out. And then you're going to do it again. And again. Point of your ray back down towards the sun, and then back out. And then we're going to end it. How stinking simple. So simple. Like I said, if you guys wanted to, you can draw the lines for the rays. You can do it however you want to. I'm going to take the yellow first, and I'm going to outline this. And then I'm just going to take my time coloring in. Now, I'm not going to lie. This is, if you guys can see this yellow right here, that is because I colored in another sun when I was making my example, but it happens sometimes. Like whenever you're towards the end of a page, it can come off. So if that's like if that's you, that happens sometimes, take like a scrap piece of paper. If you don't want to like mess up the desk that you're at or something, you can even just take whatever and just put this on top of it. So then you're covering on a piece of scrap paper instead of your actual desk or whatever, wherever you're at. you're not messing that up in any way, because I am known to have a little bit of a messy desk because my color on it or my writing, you can see that there. Like, it happens. It happens. Okay, then we're gonna color this in. Takes a little bit longer of a time because it's a little bit of a bigger space. But like we said before, these retractable marker pens, the Clickart from Zebra, it doesn't dry out. So I'm using so much ink right now because of how big the sun is. But the yellow, it's not like fading, it's not drying out, it's not like, please close me, please take a break from coloring, it's not, please shake and get the ink flowing again. It just goes. Super awesome. Okay, that's my sun. I'm gonna take the orange because I feel like that's another like sunny color. It's very bright, very fun. And we're gonna color in this section. I'm gonna do the outline again though. I really think this is the easiest when you're coloring in something. And then we'll kind of go in to the sun. And then we're going to color in this space here. And I feel like the sun is just so fun. I feel like it just adds so much more than doing like the lines out. And it's just so simple. So there it is. There's your sun. You said if you guys want to do it in the corner and like have it just shine on your whole planner spread or whatever it is you're doing, then that's great. If not, you know, you can do your washi as just the same way as we did. If you wanted to do the lines, you could do the lines here, like a more of a stereotypical sun that has those lines, or you can do the same that we just did. So I'll show you, like, maybe I'll do half the sun in the rays and then half the sun with the lines. Okay. So show you guys. Okay. So here, I'm just gonna take the orange and we're just gonna do the rays. Like that. Or you can do like the half views and have it be those rays as well. Okay, our last doodle before we kind of wrap up is going to be fireworks. Now these ones are so simple. Don't let the fireworks scare you. They were kind of scary to me too, but it's really, really simple. I'm going to put this paper over here a little bit so that you guys can see the example in case you don't have the PDF in front of you. You're going to start with the dots. I use the gray because I feel like it's just a simple color. Now, I'm not even going to use these pens again, like the waves. I didn't use the pen at all. I'm just going to use red and blue and the brighter blue. That's it. I am going to be very sporadic. This is going to be rounded again. So it's not going to be a straight line out. I mean, it could be if that's how you want your fireworks styled, but you're just going to kind of come around and draw different sizes, different shapes, different lengths. I come in with another color. So that was red. We're going to do some blue now. And then we're going to do some light blue. We're just going to add all these colors, making the fireworks look like they exploded. And then, so I'm going to look in, I'm going to come in. It looks just like a firework, but right here, I feel like it's missing a little something. It's like a little bit of a bare space. I'm just going to take another color and fill it in until you feel like it looks full enough to be a firework. And then I'm actually going to do another one right here. And they're actually going to kind of bleed into each other. And they exploded, or I don't know what if, I guess fireworks like technically explode, right? at the same time. So then they're like running into each other. Without, I guess, like fully running into each other. And look at that. All you have to do is like little rounded lines wherever you want, whatever color you want. And that's how you make a firework. So stinking simple. So you guys, we made 10 doodles for our planner today. Look at this page. We did so good. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up really quick. And then we will be called, this class should be called Super Summer Doodles. Oh, thank you so much. You guys are so, so kind to me. Thank you all for coming to my Michael's class today with Zebra. You guys, Zebra truly is amazing. I love all of their products, but very quickly, these Clickart retractable marker pens have become some of my favorites. You guys can write with them. You can doodle with them. You can do so many different things with them. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you tag Zebra at zebrapen_USA or myself at Amber Plans Her Day, because I want to see your doodles in your planner. So definitely share it with us. And I really hope to see you guys again. And thanks so much for joining me today.